Hi everyone, welcome to this edition of Business Ambassadors. I'm Mike Corbett. My guest today is John Bellmore, who is the new owner of the Wild Bookstore, which has been a fixture in downtown Noblesville for many years. How many years has it been in business?
It's been in business at least 10 at the location where it's at now.
That's great. Well, John bought the business last October, and how's it going so far?
Pretty good. We're in a slow period, like a lot of businesses are at this time of year, but we did well through the holidays, and it's my first business that I've owned, so just from my own experience with other businesses, I don't think I'm going through anything that anyone else isn't going through at this time of year with the slowness. So.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about the journey, how you managed to own your own business.
Well, that's a long one, but it was, I had, to just cut to Noblesville, I had worked at Mateo's on the square in Indianapolis for 10 years, and I won a transformation contest through a supplement company a few years ago, and was flown to New York and given some money and did a lot of social media stuff for them.
A transformation contest?
The company's named Shreds, a very good company. At least from my experience, and I lost a lot of weight.
That kind of transformation.
And I posted the before and after pictures, and everybody kept telling me, "Oh, this is fake." And I got an email saying you're in the running for to win, and it was between 4 of us, and it was 3, then it was 2, and then I won. And
wow.
Then they gave me the money, and then later on they flew me to New York and had me do some social media stuff, and that's what kind of lit the fire for me to kind of feel like I could do something on my own and have my own business.
Yeah.
But most of my experience has been in the restaurant business.
Okay.
So I was attempting to buy a pizza restaurant that was in Noblesville that was struggling, and it just didn't quite work out. The deal fell through at the same time that the previous owner of the Wild was selling the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in and had some discussions with her. We worked out a deal to buy on contract, and that's how I ended up with the Wild Bookstore.
That's great. Now, is your background? Tell me about your background a little bit. Are you in? You say this is your first business, so you haven't had retail experience before. Books? You got experience with books?
I do have experience with books. I did a lot of reading throughout my whole life. As a child, I was an avid reader because we didn't have tablets. We lived way out in the country. All we had were 3 channels on the TV, and nothing good was on until at night. So I did a lot of reading. Reading was my escape. It took me to places that I didn't think I would ever be able to go to, and allowed me to experience through reading how to be the hero and what the villain felt, and I got to actually, those places took me. The books took me somewhere else outside of where my real life was. So that was something I really enjoyed as a child, including comic books, science fiction, fantasy, and just regular fiction too. And also just through a lot of the nonfiction stuff that I read a lot about animals. I read a lot about other places in the world. Because growing up basically in the middle of nowhere in Cloverdale, Indiana, 5 miles from town, I never imagined I would ever get to experience going to any of those places or seeing some of those things.
Great.
In college, I did volunteer work in the library, and learned a lot about the care of books and the Dewey Decimal System, which we don't use much anymore, and just that's about how I got into that.
That's great. But the Wild is specifically about children's books, right?
Yes. Now, that being said, we are primarily a children's bookstore.
Right.
Board books, young adult readers, chapter books, learning books, but we have brought in local authors besides the children's books, because I want to give local authors someplace downtown to be able to showcase their stuff. We try to do author signings. I did bring in comic books because I can get some newer stuff in, and there's not really any place around the downtown area that has the newer comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a lot of Melissa and Doug toys, which were in high demand. I had a suggestion hat out on what people thought I should do when I first opened up, and Melissa and Doug was one of the top suggestions because the previous owner had that in for a little while. So
great. So looking ahead, when you buy a new business, generally you've got a vision as to where you want to take it. Tell me a little bit about what your plans are for the Wild.
Well, Right now, I just want to, I want us to get known around town again. I want people to know that we did not close, that we're still there. And then I want to offer story times. I want to start offering some kind of family gaming nights, maybe once a week. We do offer 2 story times right now, and we're working on just doing the other things. Of course, we offer birthday parties. We have different packages for that, and there's a few other places downtown, a children's clothing store, and then the Kiln Creations. I ideally, in the long run, would love for us to all partner up somehow. Not necessarily in the same location, but if we could do the location and do a one-stop for all, that would be great. But I just want to see if we can kind of partner up and work on doing things for children in the downtown area, or just for people that want to come up here as a group, as opposed to I do this, they do this, and no one says anything about the other. I want us to cooperate. So.
Yeah. What kind of reaction are you getting from people who visit the store?
Good. They're happy we're still there. We have we have a cat that's there. His name's Dr. Seuss. He's been with the store longer than me. He came with the store.
Huge, isn't
he is giant. Children love the cat. He's very, very friendly. People are just happy that we didn't close. Sometimes they just come in to see the cat. Other times they book a birthday party. They shop for birthday parties, holidays. Or they just come in because they're in the neighborhood and they saw the place and they're like, oh, we didn't even know this was here.
You still the story time going on?
We have story time 10:30 on Friday morning with Christine, and then we have one that we're still working the bugs out on Wednesday at 5:30 with Carrie Ditzler. So.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Good luck to you. And it's great that the Wild is still open. I'm glad that you bought it. I'm glad that you've got big plans for it. It's a great treasure to have it in downtown Noblesville, and I appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
And don't forget, the new edition of the Hamilton County Business Magazine is out. The cover story this time around is Indiana Academy up in Cicero, which is a unique boarding school that a lot of people don't realize is there. If you ever drive north on 19 through Cicero, a lot of times you can't tell it's there other than there's a big water tower there. But check that out. You can get it downtown at Noble Tea and Coffee. There's also a rack right outside of Key Bank. And, of course, at the Visitor Center as well. Until next time, I'm Mike Corbett. Thanks for joining us.